Hey everyone, want to talk to you today about actually using your gear. Now, it might sound a little weird, so let's see what I mean by that. A lot of times there's people that, they buy certain products, whether it's, a holster, a gun, different pieces of equipment, and they will be like, oh, cool, it was reviewed by this like person on social media, or it's from this like amazing company or whatever. And then they're like, all right, cool. And then they like try it on and they're like wearing it around their house, or they're like, doing draws within their house, and they're like, oh, this is so cool. And then they like shoot it like once, and then they put it in the safe, and then it just becomes something that is just hidden away or whatever. And hey, if you want to do that, that's your choice. But the issue comes when instead you're buying this equipment as maybe it's your one thing that fills that slot of what's needed. It's that one thing of what you're going to use, and you aren't pushing the limits on its training and testing, right? There's a difference between being told by your buddy like, oh, this is like the best thing ever, or seeing like some thing on social media and saying like, this is what you need to buy, or whatever. But it's not until you actually put it on, it's not until you actually shoot it, it's not until you really use it yourself that you're gonna know, do you like it? Is this actually how you want to spend your money, because this is what you're going to use it for or not? Or do you actually have confidence in it? That comes up to you. And the only way to do that is to use your gear. And sadly, sometimes we get in situations where we start making excuses because, well, this is really nice and I don't want to use it because it's about to like rain and then snow and then hail, and I don't want to mess it up or whatever. And it's like, well, okay, but there's probably situations in life where you might be out using this piece of gear or equipment or whatever, and you're going to need to know, hey, I've used it in this environment before, like I can use it again, it's going to be fine, right? There's a reason why you're going to spend the extra cash for some name brand thing or whatever, or because some social media person has now reviewed it, it's going to go up in price, or be just fight for trying to get one, right? So you're going to want to know, I can actually use this. If it's something like some people like in the military or law enforcement or whatnot have these like grueling months of training, or this week-long like just torture test thing, some people then make the excuse like, well, I know like I'm going to destroy this thing, like this stuff that I'm going to be doing for this next week, this next month, like it's absolutely going to trash my gear, like that's why I'm going to buy this cheaper whatever thing. And it's like, that I can kind of understand, but that's not going to be most of us. Most of us aren't going to be doing stuff that's going to really wreck our equipment, right? We're not going to have a nice belt or something and then use it as a tow strap to pull a car out of the ditch. If it's a life or death situation and that's the only thing you got, maybe you will. But you're usually not just that guy that's going to use that. Maybe those guys that are like, yeah, I run so-and-so belt because I can use it as a tow strap, and then that's something else. But it's besides that, you're not going to run something crazy extreme torture test, but you're still going to want to push to its limits. You're still going to want to know, hey, like it'll last, it's going to run, I've got a ton of time used on it or whatever. And the same with anything else, right? Whether it's a holster like this with active retention, everything like that, you're going to want to know like, hey, that thing is going to work. I've taken it to some classes, or I've taken it to, BJJ or whatever, and guys have like tested it and fought over it and tried to make it, and I know, like I have confidence that thing is secure or whatnot. Or, anything else, the belt, or, a nice chest rig or plate carrier or whatever it might be, right? Some of these items you're never gonna buy. There's not gonna be a reason that you necessarily want to buy them, but maybe you do, and then you have them for yourself. That's cool. But stuff that you actually don't want to have, like your firearm, or like a good holster, things like that, you're gonna want to test and make sure like they actually run, right? Recently I had a situation where that chest rig I bought a while back, and I was like, hey, this is great, it's a nice name brand, London Bridge, like this is a really good sale they're having right now, like I'm gonna pick this up. And then I had a course come up where I was getting sent to. It was a pretty long course, and there's gonna be a lot of shooting, and it was going to be not a suck fest necessarily, but it was going to be a lot entailed with it. And I was like, sweet, this is great because I've got this now, and it's lighter, and it works really well and whatnot. and it's gonna be great than anything else maybe I have that I could take or that they would give us there. And so I was like, this is great. But then a little voice in the back of my head was like, well, why do you want to use it? Like it's supposed to get bad weather and you're gonna shoot a lot and it might get really damaged, and this is really nice and you spend a little bit of a coin on it, right? And it's like, yeah, but I had to catch myself and I'd be like, no, like this is what I bought it for, like, so I can use it for this situations. Like, I bought it because it's a little bit lighter, because it costs a little bit more, because it's a little bit better made and things like that. And so I know I don't have to deal with some other crappy little thing, that might be given to me or whatever. Instead, I can use that. And I had to know, like, and there's also the fact of now I've used it. Like, I've used it in this, situations. I've done this thing. I put it to the test, right? Same, I had a different course, combatives course I did, and I didn't think about it at all. I showed up and we started getting down and dirty in the mud, and we're smashing each other. First situation, just covered in mud, like there's mud in my holster a little bit and in the belt clips and things like that. Next situations, following situations, really quite a few. We're getting guns out and we're pushing the pistols down in the mud, fighting over them, tuck them underneath our body, try to protect, keep retention on the stuff like that. They're just getting smashed, pulling them out. Muddy situation, there's mud on them and things like that. Those aren't going to be safe, clean guns, right? And so you having confidence of like, hey, like I'm running this thing and I rack it and chamber around and I shoot and it works and I have confidence in this thing, so that then in another situation comes up, the last thing I'm worried about when it's a life-threatening situation is, oh shoot, is my gear gonna actually work? Like, is this, if I go to the ground or I get smashed in that muddy pond or something, like, am I gonna be able to pull it out and defend myself still or whatever? Like, you guys need to be able to have the confidence in your gear, and the only way you're gonna do that is if you actually run it, guys. That's what I have for you. Honestly, you need to be making sure that your gear will work for you. You test your gear, and for some of you that maybe just means one pistol and one holster. Right on, push that thing and really see how you can use it, right? For others of you, maybe it's, full battle rattle, like your helmet and a plate carrier and a belt and who knows what else, right? You're gonna wanna make sure like you can actually run that stuff. And in the end of the day, you having confidence and knowing that your gear, your equipment, your firearms, whatever is actually gonna work will really push you to be able to be confident in it, and will be the last thing you're worried about, so that you can defend your life and protect others and do other things, because that's what's truly bettering your reactive defense.